Hey guys, this is Brad from Geek, and I'm here today with
Rox Burkey
and
Charles Breakfield.
So this is the second time that we've had a chance to be able to talk to you guys about your book series. For those of you that missed the first interview, these two are the wonderful authors of the Enigma book series. How many books are we up to now?
We are up to 10 books. The 10th one will come out this summer.
Nice.
It's in final editing, final formatting. Very exciting. It's called the Enigma Source.
Okay. I know that when we talked to you last time, you guys had relatively recently gotten into the audiobook versions of your books, and now you continue to be building up through this series to get more and more on audio. How many are on audiobooks?
Right now we have 5 on audiobooks,
Okay.
and the 6th one will be out. What do you think?
We probably need about 6 more weeks on that one.
Okay.
Because the editing, the reiteration, it's got to go through our quality control, and then once we upload to ACX, they get to do a stare and compare on it, or listen if you want, if you will, and make sure that it makes all the audio qualities. Once it's there, within minutes, they're ready to be able to say, "World, here they are."
Now, I know that I was able to get through the first book, partial reading, partially through the audiobook, because that's how it works out, and was definitely impressed with the quality of the audiobooks and the fact that, it's available on Audible. Are there any other places where the audiobooks are available other than Audible, or is that the main resource for it?
Audible.com,
Okay.
Audible.com UK,
Okay.
and iTunes.
Okay.
And that's kind of exclusive in those areas because of the way the contracts are written with the overarching organization, ACX.
Okay. Now, it's actually a bit impressive that you have the UK one too, because that does seem to be a bit of a hurdle for a lot of digital media. If you can get it in the US, great. Be able to get it over in Europe, that can have some extra steps sometimes. So it's great that you guys are having such a wide reach on that. And then iTunes, of course, who doesn't have access to that these days? So you guys are up to the 10th book now. What has been the biggest step for you guys in getting to this point? Have there been any major hurdles for you to be able to say, okay, this 10th book was a little bit harder to be able to say, yes, we have a 10th, or is it still just the same inspirational flow as always?
It's pretty much the once you develop that operational rhythm of literary ping pong, batting stuff back and forth. We polish the characters, polish the stories. It's a mindset. So it wasn't. We had somebody else on an interview saying 10 books, OMG. And there's and I didn't think of it in those terms. I thought about it in terms of the story, the things that we wanted to be able to tell. And the 10th book is the 10th book. So, in case in point, we're already mapping out the 11th book.
Okay.
So remember, underlying all of these stories is technology. So how fast does technology change? We have an unending supply of fodder for new books. The 10th book itself is really a combination of blockchain and cryptocurrency.
Okay.
Pretty relevant for today's world.
So I know that by the 9th book, you guys said that you were up to 2 different teams that were the point of view characters. Is it still just the 2, or are you currently or getting ready to introduce another element of point of view characters?
I don't see a third team. Well, if you call the bad guys the third team,
Sure.
You got to have some villains. We got to have some people that need to get whacked.
Sure.
Let's be honest here. But that's a rotating universe of evil characters, and by the way, we're looking for a new evil genius to star in the next book, and I can see you in that role. If we could, dialogue a little bit afterwards,
Fair enough.
get a little bio behind you, and we just kind of morph it so that
Gotta have to really lower the standard on the genius.
Right, and his mother will be ashamed of him after this. So.
Nice. I know that you guys said that the series continues to evolve as technology evolves, and so each new story is going to be based in whatever the current technology is that really catches your interest, or it catches the public interest. But in terms of the actual storytelling that you're giving for the characters themselves, do you see a definitive end for the story that you're telling now, or at least any major portions of the story, to be able to just say, this section, this team, this whatever, we're retiring it, we've said all we can say with them.
When you do a series that has, at this point, I would say that we've spanned the series for about 10 years, 5 to 10 years. And so some people are actually dying. I mean, you know, bad guys we whack.
Sure.
The good guys, you know, they get old and die. So yeah, I mean, we do have a little of that going on as well.
Okay.
So yes, there are some points where some folks will end.
Yeah.
Or they won't come back again. We have one character that came out, Uncle Jesus,
Okay.
who's a very interesting character. I don't know, he's just interesting. You're gonna have to read the series.
Yeah.
But at one point we debated whether or not he was going to live or die. He's on a beach somewhere.
Doing his
So if we
thing.
ever want to bring him back, we can. Right?
Well, I mean, one of the other evil characters that I kind of took a shine to, there's a couple of them, but Leroy,
He's with Uncle Jesus.
and they're both ordering up fruity chick drinks on the beach, you know, and burning through their ill-gotten gains, but supervised. And, you know, some children we can't let them off by themselves. So.
Sure. But in terms of the overall stories, you guys don't really see any potential end to it all, just as long as you can keep coming up with stuff to say, it's gonna keep on going.
Yeah, we're not tired of it yet.
Awesome.
I think that will happen if we really truly get tired of it. And we just say, okay.
Well, and part of it is, it's not so much that let's talk about this or talk about that. It's let's tell a story. You know, yeah, we'll weave in these details. So, as storytellers, and that's you got to practice, and we like practicing the storytelling art.
Since your books are very technologically based, and as we've already talked about, technology's already been integrated into the practice of the stories with the audiobooks. We had talked about before that you guys are very fond of your book trailers as well, to be able to get another technical twist on the presentation of your stories. Have you found any inspiration for the continued evolution of your book trailers, of new ways that you want to be able to present the stories to the public as they come out?
So big book trailers, the long ones that are there, I mean, that format, that kind of thing seems to grab a lot of people's attention.
Sure.
We've also started adding some shorts.
Okay.
So little short videos that highlight certain concepts within the book to kind of help reemphasize and to take advantage of social media.
Okay.
You know, so I can put a 30-second blip out there on one story and people go, oh, yeah, I remember that. And then maybe want to go in more in depth. So yes, expanding just a little bit.
And it's I guess it's the dabbling in the dabbling's not the right word, but exploring the other medias, you know, and what works, what doesn't work. You know, we're looking at some vehicles to be able to get more of the mind share in the film world.
Okay.
Screenwriters have talked with us. We did some at the show this weekend. We had a lot of good dialogue with people saying, "I've done that, and here's what I would do if I were you guys."
Okay.
So good conversations, good direction. You know, things to think about, ways to navigate through the channels to be able to get to a good product.
As writers that have technical backgrounds, when it comes to being able to bring your stories to the public through technology, what has been the biggest hurdle you've come across of integrating that technology aspect to your presentation?
And we try to do that before we ever get the book off the ground. Case in point, we've had a couple of very nice folks that are great readers. They read voraciously, but they're not technical minded. And so one of the things we want to be able to do is explore. Here's an older person that they have an iPhone, and they've learned to text, and they consider themselves real high tech until they get into the book, and they go, I had to skip over those pieces, and it wasn't. I thought it was going to ruin the book for me, but it didn't. So it's important to make sure that the target market is not going to be overwhelmed by a whole bunch of techno speak, and I got Roxanne to be able to think for that thing. No, get this out of here. This is, they don't really want to know how to format a drive yet.
Well, the other thing is with things that come off in the news feeds today, you hear things about security. You heard things about this was breached and that was breached. So those are ideal opportunities to weave in something about the books. That's kind of fun. But reviews are the challenge of authors.
Yeah.
Whether it's an audiobook review or a paperback or an ebook review. So it's like, how do you implore people? Hey, please go out there and take your time and do a review. It would be wonderful if everybody on the planet gave us 5 stars. I get that.
Sure.
But they're not going to. I would rather get an honest review from somebody than not get one at all. I don't want one that it's totally not your market. You really should never have picked up the book and that's why you hate it. That's not really fair either. So that's kind of how we'd like to use technology to get more reviews.
Awesome. Once again, going back to those reviewers that may have missed our first interview with you guys, what would be the biggest selling point to them for why they should pick up these stories and check them out?
Cyber good guys versus cyber bad guys getting caught in strange places across the world and the good guys trying to defeat them.
Awesome.
I might suggest there were some technical topics that, like, okay, well, how does this relate to me? Oh, identity theft or genetic re-engineering of human beings to prolong their life. Do I care about stuff like that? Well, you might if everybody gets genetically enhanced and all the illnesses on the planet are erased. Then what do they do with the food supply? So we try to bring in some of that those relevant discussions.
So, if our viewers wanted to go out and get your books right now, where can they find them?
Best place to find them is certainly on our website, enigmaseries.com.
Okay.
They're available on Amazon. They're available on Texas Authors, which is the event that we're at right now. They're available on Barnes & Noble, almost anywhere. But if you want a signed copy of a book, if you're a paper person, then it would be our website or Texas Authors.
Awesome.
Otherwise, it's almost everywhere.
So yeah, if you want to be able to check out their books, the audio versions, any and all of it, or you just want to be able to continue to follow their continued book series and every new iteration that comes out, all of those links will be down in the description below. So be sure to go check them out. And until next time, this is Brad from Dallas Geek saying, see ya.